The Leopard Woman. Once upon a time, a man walked across the African plains with his wife. The man carried his spear and a bow and arrow across his back. The woman had a baby across her. As they walked, the husband turned to his wife and said, "Wife, I'm hungry. You have the ability to turn yourself into a leopardess. Put down the baby, transform yourself, and chase down that herd of bush cows. Catch one bush cow for me, bring it back, change yourself back into a woman, skin it, clean it, cook it, prepare it the way I like it, and feed me." The woman said, "But husband, are you not the hunter? Do you not have your spear? Do you not have your bow and arrow?" And he said, "I am your husband. If I tell you to turn yourself into a leopardess, you will. If I tell you to chase down that herd of bush cows, you will. If I tell you to bring back a bush calf, skin it, cook it, prepare it, and serve it to me, you will, because I am your husband." The woman said, "Are you sure you know what you are asking for?" And he said, "Yes, I do, and do it as you are told." So the woman untied the baby and set him on the ground. That woman, her eyes became the eyes of a leopard. That woman, her teeth became the teeth of a leopard, and her hands became the paws of a leopard, and her back became the back of a leopard, and her skin became the fur of a leopard, and her heart became the heart of a leopard. And she looked at her husband and she said, and that woman and that man was so afraid, he ran to the nearest tree and up into the branches, and he hanged on and climbed and hanged on for dear life. That woman, that leopard woman, she turned and she ran across the plains, chasing down the herd of bush cows. She turned the herd this way and she turned the herd that way. She chased them and she chased them, and she fell upon the youngest of the bush cows with the tenderest of meat. She fell upon its throat. She tore its throat open. She brought the bush calf back to where the baby was laying. And that woman, that leopard woman, her fur became the skin of a woman, and her back became the back of a woman, and her paws became the hands of a woman, and her teeth became the teeth of a woman, and her eyes became the eyes of a woman, and her heart became the heart of a woman. And that woman, she skinned the bush calf. She cleaned the bush calf. She built a fire. She pushed a stick through the bush calf's body. She made a pit. She turned and she roasted, and she turned and she roasted, and she turned and she roasted the meat. And when that meat was cooked to a turn, she caught some of the meat and prepared the way her husband liked it. She looked at the tree and she said, "Husband, come down, here is your meat. And he said, and he refused to come down from the tree. Husband, she said, here is your meat, come and eat. But he refused to leave that tree. At that moment, the baby began to cry. The woman lifted the baby, and she dropped her blouse, and she latched the baby onto her breast. And it was then and only then that her husband recognized her. He came down from the top of that tree. He could barely look at her. He grabbed the piece of meat his wife has prepared for him. He went on one side and watched her wife as he ate and he ate and he ate until he was full. When he realized that his wife was back to her true self, he said, Woman, put out the fire, gather the meat, wrap it, put the baby on your back. We must live. You must never do that transformation again. You scared me to death. You almost killed me. Of course, my husband, she said. She puts out the fire. She gathered the meat. She wrapped it in its own skin. She put the baby on her back. She tied it tight. And before they left, she said, Husband, there is something I must say. Remember, my name is woman, and I am capable of anything you ask of me. So, in the future, be careful with what you ask. The power of transformation is within me. I can call upon it at my will, but it must always be my choice to do so.